Welcome back to Packs and Picks. In the last video, we opened up 6 more packs of Twilight of the Republic, making up our second sealed pool for the format. And in this video, I'm going to show you the deck that I ended up with, talk about some of the cards, and yeah, just overall some of the effects that I see for this sealed pool. So let's dive right in. Like I usually do, I start with my leaders just to see my options, start to think about what my deck building options are going to be. And this is kind of an interesting one this time around. We got 5 villainy leaders and 1 heroism. So I mentioned in a previous Star Wars Unlimited video that I kind of like it when the sealed pool goes this way. It kind of forces your hand a little bit. In this case, with only a blue heroism leader, we know if we go into heroism, we're going to have to play blue. And so from that point on, I just look at the sealed pool and see how many blue heroism cards I have, and if I like the look of heroism overall, if there's anything in the pool that really pulls me towards heroism, something that would really make me want to play heroism, and if not, then I can kind of just write off all the heroism cards altogether. So that's what I did when I looked at the pool, and we only had 3 blue heroism cards in Outspoken Representative, Knight of the Republic, and Captain Typho. So not bad cards on their own, but nothing really that's going to pull me into heroism or really make me want to play Obi-Wan and get into blue heroism specifically. So with that, I kind of just set the heroism cards aside and went about with deck building. Now there is one caveat to that. There are 2 heroism cards that I kind of kept out because these are ones where I think if you are in green or yellow, there's a good case to be made for paying the aspect penalty for these cards. So Synchronized Strike, even at 4, you're able to reach out and deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the number of units you control. So it's not hard to make this 3 damage or 4 damage, and in green a direct damage spell, especially if you're in villainy, I think paying 4 for that is perfectly fine. And then similarly with Clear the Field, paying 4 for this to bounce each enemy unit with the same name, so this is great against the token strategies, or if somebody's got just some good consistency in their deck, they've got a couple of commons out on the field, I think paying 4 to bounce 2 or more units or clear a bunch of tokens, I think is worth it to play this in villainy. So I kept these 2 on the side just to see if I end up in green or yellow, I might put these in the pool. All right, so we'll see some more leaders here in a moment, but I'll go ahead and lay out the build that I liked the most. It's going to be blue-red, villainy, obviously, based on our leaders, and we are going to get to play some of our rares. All right, so here's the deck here. Like I said, it's blue-red. Some of the things that I like about this deck is we've got some good reach out and removal events. So we've got the 2 grenade strikes. I mentioned this in the last video. I really like this for this format. Just being able to pick off potentially 2 units or a unit and a token seems like it'd be really nice. We got self-destruct here, so any of our battle droids or smaller units that have they've expended their usefulness to us, we can defeat them and reach out and deal 4 damage. And then we've got a Daring Raid over here, just the classic, deal 2 damage to base, and of course we got a Vanquish. So we got a decent amount of interaction out of hand with blue and red. And then there's a couple cards here that drove me to this color pair. One, I really like Heavy, just a 4/4 for 4 resources, really good with Raid 2. So if we are able to turn on Raid, it's a 6/4 for 4, which is great, and then it deals a little bit of damage on its way out. So really like Heavy. I also really like the Vulture Interceptor Wing, which we got 2 of in the pool. So 4 cost 3/3, so it's a little bit overcosted, but on attack, give an enemy unit -1/-1 for this phase. I feel like a lot of times you see this effect where it's like give the defending unit -1/-1, but this is an enemy unit. It's not just in the space arena either. So we can reach out and we can take out a token or get that last point of health off of another unit in either arena. So having 2 of these in the deck, I really like the idea of playing these. So that's why I put in Vulture Interceptor Wing. And then at the top end, we do get to play some of our rares. So Planetary Invasion, this is one of our legendaries in the pool. So Exploit 3, this allows us to ready 3 units and get in another attack. So really we could kind of accelerate the game. We get kind of an extra turn or a half a turn out of this card by being able to attack with up to 3 units again. So I like Planetary Invasion. We don't have quite the battle droid engine that I'd like to see to really take advantage of exploit, but I do think we've got enough cheap stuff in the deck that we can leverage the Planetary Invasion. We've also got some more exploit. Another rare that we get to play is Malevolence, so 9 cost exploit 4, so big capital ship. So another big thing there. Aura Sing, just another good card at the top end of the curve. And then we got Kit Fisto, a rare, surprisingly not a heroism unit, but another big Jedi at the top end of the curve. So that's what I laid out to begin with, but you'll probably notice that I'm actually short a few cards. So I went to the pool to see if there was something that maybe struck my eye that I could leverage. So I went to my leaders, and the very first leader that I started looking at was Nala Se. So one of our rare leaders, ignore the aspect penalty on clone units that you play. So this immediately was like a light bulb went off for me, and I can not only play clones from out of my aspects of blue and red, but we can also throw in some of our heroism clones as well. So going back to the pool, if we assume we're going to run Nala Se, I pulled out some more clones that we can add to the deck. So Coruscant Guard, we got the 41st Elite Corps, Republic Commando, and the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. So what I really like about running Nala Se and bringing in these other clone troopers, you saw there's like a big gap in the middle of our curve. So I've kind of brought the curve down a little bit and put some more cheaper creatures in. That only helps us with our early game, but it also helps us with some of our big exploit units. Maybe we can cash in some of these smaller units and get the Malevolence online sooner, or the Planetary Invasion going sooner. So I really like Nala Se, allowing us to bring in some of these off-aspect clone troopers, and I do think she's going to be amazing for limited play in this format. Just being able to kind of break the rules of the game is very powerful. Now, as far as some of the gaps in this deck, we are pretty stacked up here in the top end of the curve. We do have exploit on a few of these cards that allows us to mitigate a little bit of their expense, but if I find that our curve is a little too high, there are some more cheap clones in the pool that we could trade out. So I could see taking out something like the Devastating Gunship and replacing that with like a smaller clone trooper to just bring the curve down a little bit and give us some more fodder for our exploit. But that is the deck. Let me know what you think about this build. Was there something else in the pool that you liked more? Would you try to find yourself in the heroism aspect? Let me know in the comments, and stick around because we got more to come from Twilight of the Republic. I'll see you soon.